All right, let's connect it up here. Coming at you January 9th, 2022. Live stream, Walking Dead discussion. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Super chat, live chat, top chat, whatever chat, this chat. Just let me know what you got going on for it. We're going to wait for it to connect and catch up with YouTube and everything there too. But thank you guys for joining me. I'll be here for the next hour, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, East Coast time, Eastern Standard Time, East time, whatever you want to call it, Eastern United States time. I'm here for the next hour, so let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below, top chat, super chat, whatever you want to talk about for sure. If you know any spoilers about stuff, please don't post any spoilers about stuff, about movies and other shows, But ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead is still a month, just roughly about a month out for AMC Plus members. This week will be a month out because it returns February 13th, 2022. So I would assume we're going to get the trailer this week. There really hasn't been much, if any, content of the Walking Dead universe. And that's okay because we have to have a break. It's nice to have a break. We can't have The Walking Dead new episodes every week. It's just not feasible, not plausible, even though some people wanted the episodes. It's nice to have a little break, move on with your life, and do that. But, ultimately, guys, The Walking Dead will be back next month, February, for the second of third parts. So 2 of 3 left remaining. Second, part B, part 2, whatever you want to call it. And I'm kind of excited to talk about it. We're going to talk about Rick Grimes news if you haven't seen my video that I posted yesterday. There's also this little teaser trailer with a picture of Daryl Dixon on there, but it's season 1 Daryl with short hair on a Commonwealth board. So people, articles, channels, things, whoever, they're like, is somebody looking for Daryl? Who's looking for Daryl? Is it Rick looking for Daryl? I think it's just, and it says Daryl's been through a lot in the zombie apocalypse. But it has this picture up on the Commonwealth board. So if someone is looking for that, or looking for Daryl, it's kind of cool, but who would be looking for Daryl, right? He already reunited with Leah. It would make sense if that was there, but it's not. Merle's gone, clearly, as we saw Daryl take him out. Maybe it's Rick. But why wouldn't Rick be looking for Michonne or Judith or something like that too? He would look for Daryl Dixon, and he's got a season 1 picture of Daryl. Like, who took that picture and put it on the wall? The Commonwealth board. And it just doesn't fit at all. Like, I might have to do a breakdown of it, but literally, it's the Commonwealth board or a missing persons board, and one of the pictures behind Daryl looks like Dale, and it says Daryl's been through a lot in the zombie apocalypse. Well, they all have, So, Jonathan Wilder, today's my birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. But ultimately, The Walking Dead, it feels like The Walking Dead is coming to an end because it is. But is it going to feel like an end? Is it going to feel like a finale? Is it going to just end and be like, okay, now what? Like The World Beyond, they could have done like the same thing with Fear the Walking Dead. And then The Walking Dead, they can do whatever they want. But The World Beyond, they can do, or they could have done, whatever they wanted to do. Instead, they decided to go the Nebraska route because they heard Nebraska's nice. And they're like, I don't know. It's just like, so we follow these 4 kids growing up in the zombie apocalypse. They don't really know anything besides the zombie apocalypse because they were basically raised in it. They weren't born in it. They were raised in it. But they were young when it started. Hope is a genius. Iris is very smart. I guess she's a genius too. I don't know. The Bennetts are smart. They're working on a cure or breaking down of the zombies. Fungus, yeast, this, that, whatever. Silas is a CRM soldier. Elton is with Iris. And they're in, I guess, Oregon, or Portland at least. Wherever the actual Portland city is. Oregon, Maine, Ohio, wherever. They're there. And then we see the whole thing about France. The modified, genetic, enhanced cohort walkers. They're fast, they're smart, they're strong, they're whatever. They're a variant of the virus. But it just seems like they're trying to cram all this stuff in and to leave doors open if they want to go down that route. And you have to have an out or a continuation or things to progress it. I mean, if you want to. Like if there's a beginning, middle, and end, and it ends, and that's it, that's where you're going with it, and it is always designed for that, the best example of that is Breaking Bad. Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, the whole saga of good guy becomes bad guy, becomes good guy, helps Jesse, just whatever. But ultimately, there's beginning, middle, and end. And that's how stories need to be. You can't stretch things out and draw things out and just keep it going just for the sake of keeping it going. Keep the money train going. And that's kind of what it feels like a little bit with the Walking Dead universe. Not so much the Walking Dead, but the Walking Dead universe. Like the World Beyond, it just felt like, yeah, let's throw this in there. We'll explain the CRM a little bit more. Jadis will connect. Minimal connections there. But it just didn't really do much to the universe, in my opinion. Fear the Walking Dead, the same thing. For like 3 seasons, it's not going to connect with the Walking Dead. There's going to be no sort of connection with the Walking Dead whatsoever. We're going to see California. We're going to be far across the other side. They just, I don't know. They're just trying to make things go for that. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. Do you think the survivals of The Walking Dead will have a spinoff / sequel at the end? So the survivors of The Walking Dead, I don't know. The Daryl and Carol show is the survivors having a spinoff sequel. It's a Daryl and Carol show. That's definitely what it is. So the answer is yes, because the Daryl and Carol show is going to be that they survive and they have their own show. But what about Judith, Gracie, Aaron, Father Gabriel, Rosita, Barbara, Luke, Magna, Yumiko, whoever else? Like, I mean, enough people, Ezekiel, Princess, whoever survives, like whoever actually survives. And if we don't have some major deaths, it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I have great faith that the show is going to end in a great way. You know, you can go back to Game of Thrones. That was a great series for 6 seasons. And then 7 and 8 were just, well, 7 wasn't bad. But 8 was like, what are they doing, man? What are they doing? How are they going to wrap this up? Characters are doing uncharacteristic stuff of the characters for all the previous seasons. It just was out of character. It doesn't fit. And a lot of shows do that. Oh, we got to wrap it up. Oh, remember this. Now, remember that small thing? It's actually a really big thing. Or this new group comes out of nowhere. Like, so there's also been word of the final season having one more big group that comes around. So we already met the Reapers. They were just filler. The major group is obviously there. Still haven't seen Oceanside. Don't know what happened with them. The Commonwealth has been with the whole story with Eugene and all that, but eventually it's coming to The Walking Dead, Alexandria. You know, it is going to be probably in episode 9 or 10 when it happens, I would assume. And then what's the other group? Is it the CRM? I mean, it just makes sense that it would be, should be, could be. So if it's not the CRM, what are they doing, right? Like the Civic Republic needs to have some connecting points with our main story because it started there from the main story, branched off into its own show, and then and then into Fear the Walking Dead. Very minimal connections, but Wilson, I guess, kind of asks, in the comic, the survivors were the general population at the end. So I guess he's just saying that. But yeah, the survivors at the end of the comic were basically, you had the community still. You had Alexandria, you had Hilltop, you had the Commonwealth. And you had Carl and Sophia at the farmhouse. There's a walker. I think they have a daughter. I know they have a child. And they kill the walker. Carl gets in trouble for killing the walker. Like, it's a big freaking deal. But either way, they go to the Commonwealth, and then they meet Judge Michonne, which we believe will be Judge Yumiko. And you kind of see where stuff is. It's their way of connecting the time jump, and we'll see how it goes there. But Carl's not around, Sophia's not around, Michonne's not around, so which we think is going to go to Yumiko. The Commonwealth would most likely be around, but the CRM is the outlier. What's going to happen with... Andrea, so it is his daughter. Thank you, Mike. So it's kind of like, it's a bunch of stuff. They're like, okay, cool. But again, the show is the show and the comic is the comic, and they've made some great decisions on the show and some poor decisions on the show. But my two questions to you are, do the good changes for the show outweigh the bad decisions? Like, one of the best decisions ever for the show is Daryl Dixon. And the Dixon brothers. We'll tie them back in there too. So the Dixon brothers, Daryl, after season, really first two seasons, Daryl's not the biggest, character. But season 3 till now, Daryl is just as important, if not arguably more important than Rick. Especially since Rick went away. I mean, Daryl's carried the show. Daryl has carried the show with help from Michonne and Negan and Carol and, Maggie and stuff. So he's had help, but he's been kind of the main focal point. Daryl really became the main focus of the show. So, but, Jerry, King Ezekiel, Rosita living past their comic deaths. Abraham living past his comic death, but getting a different death. But then killing Carl off. Does that really hurt more than anything? Killing Abraham off in the lineup, did that really, it's just a good debate, good discussion, I should say. The final two parts of the final season, I really hope go back to where the story began. Not like, how shows do like the clip show where they're like, this is where we were and this is what happened. And they're sitting just remembering stuff and there's like funny music. Like what jumps out to me is Seinfeld. When you have the clip show of everybody doing this and then messing around and laughing around and doing this and dancing and singing and stuff's playing and we're doing that. And then at the end, it's all the characters come back to testify against Jerry and Elaine and George and everybody at a trial. So you bring characters back to have the roundup of all the different characters from all the different seasons back in the finale. So it's a series finale with all the different things. So it's kind of a cool thing, but I don't know how they could do that, right? I mean, unless someone's in a hallucinogenic state or in a state where they're remembering things, flashbacks. But Rick already did that in his final episode. So I don't know if that would happen with Daryl or Carol or somebody, but it just wouldn't fit. Now, the other question I have for you guys is, when in doubt, give it to Daryl. That's right, Xmas girl. Daryl has been such a key part of so many different aspects. Like, he's been connected with everything. And also, when in doubt, kidnap Daryl. Because Daryl has been a part of so many different groups. Like, I thought about it, and I think Mike or somebody brought it up last time, about Daryl was with the governor's people when he was captured. And then the claimers. And then the saviors. And then now the reapers. And you're like, Daryl gets kidnapped and captured, but somehow stayed alive all this different time because he's a survivor and he's important. He's got the plot armor for sure. But my other question is, or Ethan asks, Q&A, how many people do you think are left in the Walking Dead universe at all? Well, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Commonwealth is huge. That's a huge amount of people. Alexandria is a good amount of people. Oceanside is a good amount of people. The campus colony's gone. Nebraska or Omaha's gone. Portland was saved. Our people from the world beyond. The Civic Republic are still around. Fear the Walking Dead is still around. I just don't know how many people are still going around there too. So it's a good amount. I mean, far more than I think would actually survive in a zombie apocalypse if stuff actually happened. We don't know about the military, the government, the rest of the world. I mean, we just don't know. The people in France, the people there too. It's just a lot of good questions. I mean, I don't know. When Robert Kirkman was doing the math, it was like 1 million walkers to 1 human. So that doesn't give that many people left, because if there was a population of, this was like before stuff happened and whatever. I mean, if there was like 8 billion people, let's just say, 8 billion divided by a million is how many walkers would be left. So then to every one, it wouldn't be that many of a population. But again, new people are being found all the time, and people are having babies. So it's a good question. I mean, it's all fictional, so we have no idea. But Brian Miller asks, Q&A, what do you think of a Negan spinoff? I like it. It doesn't need to be 10 episodes. It could be 5-6 episodes. If we get like a bunch of mini series, I think it's good. Kind of like what they do on Disney Plus with a lot of those shows, are 6 episodes. I like it. I like the idea of having a Negan show, a spinoff, 5-6 episodes, kind of like I think AMC and The Walking Dead copy things and try to do things like Marvel. Like Marvel is the gold standard. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is the gold standard of comic book stuff, a universe, multiple shows, movies, connects, spin-offs of that, building up, movie. Everyone comes together for a movie. Everyone comes together for a movie, kind of like that. And next thing you know, you got like 40 plus movies, and you're like, wow, this is a big universe here. And I think The Walking Dead wants to have a similar aspect, probably in a smaller, amount, but I think that's kind of what they're trying to do too. Xmas Girl 304 asks, how many seasons do you predict Carol Daryl spinoff will be? I think 2. I think it's going to be 2 seasons of 10 episodes each. So I don't know if Daryl or Norman wants to be any. I think he likes being Daryl Dixon, but he's got a baby now. He wants to probably move on with his life. He's been, the OG of The Walking Dead now for a long time. I don't know if he wants to be doing this for another 5 years. But if you think about it, he's finishing up The Walking Dead. And the same thing with Melissa McBride. I mean, it's a long time. So they're going to finish the series in March. Then I don't know if he's going to film the Boondock Saints 3. And then they'll probably start filming the Carol and Daryl show later this year for 2023. Probably film in 2023 for 2024. And then they'll probably be done. I mean, I don't know what's left for stuff to happen after a while. As long as Daryl survives at the end of the story, the universe, and you leave it open for some kind of thing, I think he would be happy with that. But again, I haven't spoken to Norman and talked to him about it, but I know he's always said, like, if I ever get killed on the show, I'm going to burn my trailer down and cause all these problems and whatever. And he's joking, of course, but he said that before about it. He's like, I want to be on the show basically to the very end. Is basically what we got out of that statement. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, do you think the Walking Dead universe will have shows for every place in the world, meaning places, the 3 main show? So the shows they have not traveled to. So like a Europe, a China, Australia, South America. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I personally wouldn't. I probably watch it because I'm, connected with the Walking Dead universe and I'm invested with it. But if there was like the Walking Dead Brazil, The Walking Dead Europe, The Walking Dead China or Asia, The Walking Dead Australia, The Walking Dead, whatever, are people going to watch the show? It turns into, Law and Order, all the different kinds there, or CSI, whatever. I don't know. I mean, if they do, they would probably put less money into it. So I don't know. I don't see it personally, but you never know too. So Mike Allen says, Q&A, who is Norman's baby's mom? It's Diana Kruger or Diane Kruger. So I always want to call her Diane Kruger. Fun fact about that is I'm pretty sure if you go back to the time of things and if you go back of it, Diane Kruger, I don't know if it was the last Walker Stalker cruise or the second to last. It was either because there was 4 Walker Stalker cruises and I was on all 4. My wife and I went on all 4. So I don't know if it was the 3rd of the 4th or the 4th of the 4th, but Diane Kruger was on the cruise with Norman Reedus. There's pictures of Norman, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Diane at the airport or at the cruise port and a bunch of different places. It's probably the cruise port. And they were dating and whatever. And then all of a sudden, so many months later, she's pregnant. And So to me, it was a boat baby. It was a cruise ship baby that, it was like, okay, cool. It's kind of fun fact with it. And it was just like, wow. So we were, I don't know. It's just kind of cool if you think about it. The other thing I definitely want to talk about is, will Rick Grimes be seen this year? So my assumption has been now for probably, I could say, a couple months, that Rick Grimes, the first movie, if not all three movies, will be filmed starting this spring. They said last spring there was this reports, that reports, that they were going to do it in 2021 and this and that and blah, 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 all that stuff. And nothing happened unless they filmed in secretly too. So, but Xmas Girl says, Kari Payton just became a new dad again. He had a son with a Walking Dead makeup artist. Yeah, I was talking about that, because Tom Payne just had a baby too with his wife or fiance. I don't know if they actually got married yet, but she was on the cruise too. So a lot of stuff was happening on this cruise. It was pretty cool to see. But he just had a baby, and it was like Harrison Magnus Austin Payne is the baby's name. I'm like, man, what a name. And then my wife brought up the point about Kari Payton having a baby with the Walking Dead makeup artist. So it brought up the question too, and I'm not here to judge at all by any means, but Kari Payton was married. He, I believe, has a child or two children with his wife, and then I believe they got divorced recently, within last year or so, maybe 2 years ago now. Time is of the essence, and I don't know of the time frame of things, and I'm not here to judge. Again, I'm not saying it, but then you see like they're together, and then they're having a baby, or they had a baby, and you're like, oh, okay, so I don't know what's up, but you're like start putting two and two together, and you're like, okay, so Kari Payton's with the makeup artist, baby, it's just like, well, I don't know. It was just interesting too, so. Jonathan Wilder asks, Q&A, how do you think the Dixon Brothers would be like if they were in the comics? Would they be heels or baby faces? I don't know. It probably would have been cool to see if them as bad guys that became good guys. Because Daryl and Merle were supposed to rob the camp at the quarry, and they weren't supposed to be good guys. But again, the comic was already there, and Daryl wasn't supposed to be on the show. Norman Reedus auditioned for the part of Merle. But, wow, thanks for somebody posted a question about babies. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sunshine Sunny Buns. What a, oh, man. But YouTube is hilarious. People are hilarious how stuff works and how they call stuff. Yes, I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I know how babies are made and born. Thank you. But I think the baby face idea of Daryl I think a heel would have probably been. They probably would have been heels between the two. So, but my question to you is: do you think Rick Grimes returns this year? And it's a kind of a twofold question. Do you think he returns in The Walking Dead season 11? It would most likely be the third and final part, because the second part's already been filmed, and or the movies. Because I love the idea that he would show up in the final episode of The Walking Dead, help the ratings, help everything. And at this point, do you think the finale is going to be great? I don't think so. I don't have high hopes that the finale of the Walking Dead series is going to be like the best episode. Like, I just don't think it's going to be that great. I think it's going to be mediocre. I think probably the 23rd episode of season 11 is going to be better than the 24th. I think more stuff is going to happen in the penultimate episode than the finale. This is kind of what happens a lot of times. Mark Simmons says cliffhanger. Now, they could do a cliffhanger to make you want to watch the movies. So if Rick comes back, it makes sense for that. And then he's there. It would be pretty awesome if it's Rick and Michonne come back to Alexandria And that's how it ends. No dialogue. It's like 30 seconds. And then you're like, and then there's a trailer for the movie. Gets you excited for the movie. And it's all about the next episode, the next episode, the next episode, the next season, the next season, the next season. Well, the seasons and the episodes are over when episode 24 ends. So it's going to have to roll into a spinoff or a movie or something else. So they're going to have to connect the dots and keep it rolling, because if it ends, it's over. It's over now. What are you going to do? Maybe watch it again a couple more times? But it's all about revenue. All about the next and the next and the next. What's next? What's next? That's what comic books and series are all about. Jonathan Wilder is my WWE guy. Did you see Brock became the new reigning defending WWE champion? Also, poor Big E, only 100 days, some days as a champion. Well, I didn't see it. I didn't watch day one. I know that Brock had to wrestle Big E because Roman Reigns had COVID or tested positive for COVID and whatever it is. So he was out. So then they had to change it. So then Brock beat Big E because I guess Brock was going to beat Roman Reigns or something. So we had to do something. And then I also saw, my wife pointed out yesterday, that at Royal Rumble, that's coming up in a couple weeks, I think in like 20 days, that there's all these older women, older women wrestlers that are going to be in the Royal Rumble, or I guess in the Royal Rumble. Like the Bellas and Kelly and a couple other people. And you're like, man, they're really running out of stuff there too. So running out of women wrestlers. I mean, Charlotte's there and Trinity's there and a couple there, but I mean, they're running out of people. I didn't see Sasha on the artwork, or Brianna Banks, or I believe Nia Jax is gone. And I think they brought back Summer Rae and stuff too. You're like, man, that's crazy. So, but Rick Grimes, is he coming back in the movies, the show, and the movies? Because there's all this different speculation and rumors on there too. So per the Andrew Lincoln News, don't know how they got the source, don't know how they got it too. So Mike Allen says, are you and Mrs. One Eyebrow going to have, Mrs. Eyebrow going to have a little Walker's Bride? I don't know. I mean, we talked about things, and it's just a whole complicated thing with stuff. So I don't know. There's been talk, and there's always been stuff for the future, and I'd be fine with not having kids, but also, I think I'd be, an anxious, nervous, worried father if that happened for every little thing. And seeing what I've seen in physical therapy and, medical background, it's kind of scary. But I don't know. So the answer is to be determined, I guess. Yeah, I know Sasha Banks got injured. She's hurt, so I know her. She's out, that's why. So, but, I mean, it happens. So, like, in a perfect world, would you want to see Rick Grimes in the show and not the movies, or not in the show and in the movies? Because I think if he comes back for the show, I mean, why not both? The answer is both. We definitely want both, right? I mean, there's like, I want both. But if you had to pick one or the other, I go with the movies, because there'll be way more content in the movies for 3 movies. Now, from what I understand, I have not been a part of a movie production or anything like that. I think you can film a movie in 2.5, 3 months. So if you start filming in March or April, just go with April. So you had April, May, and June. That's 3 months. And then you would have, maybe you go back to back to back and film all 3 movies. Maybe there's a slowdown with the movie production because they want Rick and Michonne to reunite in the movies. And if Denai Guerrero, I'm just spitballing here. Maybe Denai Guerrero is too busy with Black Panther and her other projects. So I don't know if she could do that. But you could probably film the first movie without Denai Guerrero, because I would assume the first movie is Rick going away, getting medical attention, listed as an A or a B, and then Jadis getting in trouble, and then B, where they went, and kind of find out a little bit more about that. And so if it's an 1.5 hour movie, You could probably film that in, 2.5 months. Because again, I've already broke it down. They film an episode of The Walking Dead, which on average is about 45 minutes, in 2 weeks. Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday. That's 10 days. So 45 minutes, 45 minutes. That's 4 weeks. That's a month. Let's double it to 2 months. So you could film back to back to back if you're going to do that. I know they filmed that with the second and third Matrix movies. Sometimes with multiple movies, they filmed back to back. I know with some certain series, they've done that too. So the other thing I don't want to be is I don't want the movies to be crappy. I'm a huge Sopranos fan, being from New Jersey. The Sopranos series is still great. Like, I could watch it today and still laugh at the same lines that are funny, and I could quote the lines and know what's going to happen and still be enjoying the series. And I've gone back and watched it probably 2-3 times now. And then we got the Many Saints of Newark movie, which I was very excited to see, and a bunch of this, and we're going to have this story and that story, and young Johnny Soprano, and Dickie Moltisanti, and young Christopher, and young, Tony Soprano, and it's going to be his son, so it's going to be cool. And then we got a movie that was crap. So I don't want that to happen with the movies. I don't want that to happen ever with any series too. So I would just love to have it done right. And you announce the movies, and then we're having problems with the script and a director, and we're still working on it and 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 working on it. And you're like, what are you working on? Is it, paralysis by analysis? Are you trying to overdo it and overcook it? Or you just don't know what you're doing? Like, I don't know. Just, the show and the episodes are movie caliber. Every week, not every week, but most weeks of The Walking Dead, it's like a mini movie, a 45-minute long movie. So you put 2 of them back to back, bing, bada, boom, that's an hour and a half. There you go, first movie, done. How do you not know where you're going with it? Rick goes to the CRM, gets treatment. A month goes by. He gets a job. He finds out about what's going on with them. Starts to build up people around him. Oh, yeah, people aren't happy. People are this. People are that. Okay. Silas, Jadis, this, that. Whatever. Then he can't get out. Gets in trouble. Gets caught. Is about to get executed. Stuff. There's a revolution. Stuff happens and he gets out. I don't know. I just don't know. Sorry, Jonathan Wilder asks Q&A. Who would you like to interview on your channel from The Walking Dead or WD and or AEW? I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, probably one of the things I would love to do is probably interview Robert Kirkman. Greg Nicotero would be great. I mean, actors are one thing. People give credit a lot to actors that some are great. Some are just being themselves, and some are just regular people that hit it big. Some people do a great job, or they make it look like they do a good job because of the writing. I would like to probably interview more writers to see what's entailing what they do. Maybe even Angela Kang. That would be kind of cool to interview her because she's been around for a long time. I think that would be amazing. And people, and I wouldn't need to know information about things. It would just be kind of cool of the process, how they do things, how they work, how they write, how they whatever they do, their whole process too. And Negan one says 2-hour Walking Dead special where only 55 minutes of content and rest commercials. Well, yeah, but I mean, like if you watch I watch the episodes without commercials, and they're about 45, 43, 45, 48 minutes long. So yeah, we don't need a 2-hour long special and only get. It's usually about, I don't know. So again, if it's about an hour long on TV and about 45 minutes, so it's every 15 minutes. So if it's double that, it would be a half hour. So it would be, 2 hours, and it would be an hour and a half of material and a half hour amount of commercials, just about on there too. Maybe a little bit more, a little bit less. But yeah, it's annoying when you have a show and you watch something and it's commercial break. That's a big problem with The Walking Dead, is that it would be like all this stuff, commercial, little clip, commercial, a little bit longer, commercial, pause, commercial. You're like, enough of these commercials, enough of these breaks too. So Dawn says, I think they're trying to figure out either show Rick in the last episode or just show his first appearance in the movie. I think they want the fans to be happy. Yeah, I agree. I think they want to do things happy. But if you try to make everybody happy, you're going to make nobody happy. So it just makes, like, Greg Nicotero is a smart guy. I think Gipple is a smart guy. But I think he's had to do some things questionable for the show, the production, the budget things. Gimple was the showrunner since season 4. So seasons 4, 5, and 6 were great seasons. And Gimple was the showrunner. So 7, 8, he was the showrunner too. And then Angela Kang took over. And so she's done a great job. But I think Gimple was the showrunner for season 9 too. But I think Angela Kang is the showrunner for 10 and 11, but she may be for 9. I'm just thinking of the time. But either way, Gimple has done some great things because he's involved with seasons 4, 5, and 6. And so he had to fill in the gaps and fill in the dots and make things work and kind of keep it there too. Like, the series could have ended and not even made it to 4, 5, or 6 seasons. It could have been there too. But I don't think the ending is going to be great. And I don't know what they're trying to do with it. You can have Rick return in the final episode and not give much away. Or he could be like, man, I got a lot to tell you. We got to get to work. Done. On to the movies. But then why would Daryl and Carol, unless they already left and they can't get in touch with them, if Rick comes back to the show, Daryl and Carol, what are they going to do on their own show? Is the Daryl and Carol show going to include Rick? But I don't know how they could, because Rick's going to be a lot of money. Andrew Lincoln gets a lot of money per episode. So does Norman. So does, Melissa. They get a lot of money per episode. And that's why they're going to have their own show and probably be minimal other cast in the show, because most of the budget's going to go towards them. But I don't know story-wise. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that Rick comes to Alexandria, Carol and Daryl are there, and they're like, all right, guys, we got to go to New Mexico. See you later. And he just drives away on his motorcycle. And then Rick's like, what? I just got back. Where are you going? We got to go fight the Civic Republic. They're coming. They're on their way. So, I don't know. I don't know how Michonne's going to fit. I don't know how Morgan and Fear the Walking Dead are going to fit, if they are. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're trying to make things work, if they're trying to make things work. So, Jonathan Wilder asks, when will we get a Rick Grimes movie trailer? Well, you got to film some of the movie first before we get a trailer. So, I'm assuming that they're going to start filming in April at earliest. And but if you saw my latest video, Andrew Lincoln News at Andrew Lincoln News posted that Andrew Lincoln has 3 things, productions, we don't know if it's movies or shows or what, both in and out of the United States for this year in 2023. So 2 things. And one of them is definitely connected with The Walking Dead or related to The Walking Dead or whatever. So I would assume it's the movies. But because what's going to happen too is that everybody's going to build it up, because we're not going to see Rick in the second part. There's just no way. Maybe, never say never, but it'd be pretty amazing. But then how would he show up in the second part but not be in the third? So if Andrew Lincoln flies and is in the United States during filming now, February or March, people are going to think he's going to be in the final season of The Walking Dead. And he could be. But he also could be in the movie. So if he shows up in the United States in March, it's a good bet to think he's either in the final episode and or the movies are going to start filming, because he's probably got to fly in probably a week or 2 before they start filming with production, pre-production, script read-throughs, everybody together, wardrobe, makeup, whatever they're going to do. And so I would assume he's got to be there at some time beforehand. But if everybody builds up the case and says Andrew Lincoln and Rick Grimes is going to be in the final season of The Walking Dead, final season of The Walking Dead, final season of The Walking Dead, and then it's the first part, no Rick. Second part, no Rick. Third part, episode, again, it's 8 episodes. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, and no Rick. And then he's like, he's got to be in the final episode. And he's not there. People are like, I thought Rick was going to be back. I thought Rick was coming back. Where's Rick? I thought Rick was coming back. Well, they never said that. But they did say it was Rick's final episode on the show. But never say never, and stuff happens. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see, what they do. Mellow Writer 703 asks Q&A. What's up, Bri? Have you seen Dexter? Don't know if this question was asked before. No, I've never seen the show Dexter. I actually said it to my wife yesterday. There was a commercial for it. And I have not seen one episode of Dexter, even though I heard it's great. I don't even know if it's on Showtime or where it was. I just never had an opportunity to watch it. But I know people love it. people love the show, too. So, let me see. But other than that, guys, so we're working hard on the book series. I am on. Sorry, Lincoln. Yeah, I've never seen Dexter. I know people love the show too. So I'll have to check it out. I know. What? You need to watch it. Watch it. But Fight for Us series. Oh, sorry. In 100 Days, Part 3, which is the third part of the series. I'm on chapter 17. There's going to be 18 chapters, so I have 2 chapters left. I have a couple pages. It's like a chapter and a half left to write of my rough draft. I've decided that I need to write it, get it out on, I say paper, but on my Word document. Write it, edit it, go through it, grammar, punctuation, all that stuff, and then go through it again, and then have my wife go through it, and then I go through it one more time, and then we'll publish it. So I'm hoping to finish the book this week, then do a quick edit, and then start my first edit run through, then have my wife read it as I'm still going through my chapters, and then have it out. So I'm thinking like March maybe, just to make sure it's done right. I don't want to rush it to have it out in February and have it be right, because it is, the final book of that series. And then we'll have to see where we want to go with it. I'm still up in the air where to go with it, with the characters and how it connects, because I've been writing more and more connections in the chapters, and I'm like, definitely like how that connects. This character connects with that. This idea connects with that. Okay, there's a nice connection point there. And I'm like, because, I'm not trying to knock the Walking Dead universe. I love the Walking Dead universe. The Walking Dead universe has changed my life. But you can be hard on it. You can be tough on it. You can, have tough love and stuff you don't agree with it. Just because you're that way doesn't make, like, oh, you're a hater, bro. You're a hater. No, I'm just realistic. Like, you cannot like everything somebody or something does, but still care for them and love them. I got friends that annoy the crap out of me, but I still love them like they're my brothers, and sisters. I mean, come on. But it's crazy. Jonathan Wilder, Q&A, haven't asked this in a while, so have you tried giving anime a try? No, I don't have any time for that stuff. I mean, I was working in the yard, front yard, backyard yesterday, working on the pool, working on my book series, trying to watch them. We're watching Yellowstone and Mayor of Kingstown. Jersey Shore just came back on Thursday, and that show is terrible, but we're invested in the characters or the actors and whatever, and it's just like, man, it's so forced drama, but Ronnie and the situation, and Paulie, and it's just like we're watching Snooki and JWoww. It's like, man, it's just crazy. BJ Logan, Q&A, is it hard writing a book along with still engaging in watching or reading other stuff without accidentally taking ideas or storylines? Yes and no. I like the idea of watching something that was done really well on like Yellowstone or Mayor of Kingstown or whatever, Walking Dead or something, and you're like, wow, that's really good. I like how they did that. You can't like there's nothing out there that hasn't been done yet, right? Like, I mean, I guess if you opened up a thing like Game of Thrones is a lot like Lord of the Rings and like other stuff. It's not like, oh, that's been done. Like, okay, the Lannisters and stuff and dragons, like it's been done, but twisted with different things too. So, my mom used to love The Situation, Kami writes. Yeah, Mike Sorrentino and his wife, and now baby, they just had a little baby too. So, no, I mean, you can get ideas or Lady Hotep Yellowstone is on Paramount. It's also on Peacock. The first 3 seasons are on Peacock, but I think it's a Paramount Plus show. The 4th season just came out recently too. So, but you can get ideas. Inspiration is everywhere. But I get inspiration of picking myself through it. Like if I was living in this area or living here, living there, and, I kind of twist it with some different twists and turns, and I get ideas from corporations and stuff that's out there now. And so I have a corporation in 100 Days and Fight for Us. It's called O2U. And it's an online big conglomerate, but it's a fictional company that is connected like several companies together, but I blend them together into my one. So one of the best things you can do too is go on YouTube and see different stories and different stuff of real life and be like, wow, that really happened. And that happens all the time in shows and movies where they get inspiration from real life stuff. And so it's pretty cool. But I don't think it's hard. Like I would never take a story, like I'm not going to have the Duttons and John Dutton and whatever, but I do have a ranch in my Fight for Us series that was there before I even seen Yellowstone. So I have ideas of different things like the reservation and the ranch and, the zoo and all these different places that come together in my ideas from just a myriad of different, sources, books, shows. I don't really read that many books actually, and that may be why I struggled to write clearly early on because I wasn't a big reader, and so I don't know. Mike Allen asks, Q&A from Sasha, can I bribe you with cookies for a sneak peek at new book, Milk Chocolate with White Chocolate and Caramel Swirl Cookies? Well, I wouldn't want to, give anything away, Mike and Sasha, because I would want you to go in fresh without anything. Like, there is something being said, like before I knew spoilers for The Walking Dead, I would go in and I would watch the show. Like I watched the first, 5 seasons of The Walking Dead without really knowing spoilers from the major spoiler sites, or spoiler site, I should say. But I did check into things with the comic. I watched The Walking Dead show before I knew it was a comic. I remember being at a physical therapy clinic, working there, and talking with a patient about The Walking Dead. And he's like, it's a comic, right? And I'm like, what? No idea. And he's like, yeah, the main character actually loses his hand. Rick loses his hand, and he's a different character. I like the comic better than the show, the person said. And I was like, no, really? I didn't even know it was a comic. And that was probably about like season 3 that was on TV. And then I went back and started reading stuff and, seeing things about the, like Lizzie and Mika, they're, modeled or changed for the show. They're actually twin boys in the comic that changed for the show as, sisters. So it was kind of cool to see. And I wouldn't want to give anything away from my series. Like I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen, anything with the in 100 days, but it does pick up. And spoiler alert, the last chapter is the 100th day, because as if it's going through the different days in it with the Sinclairs and the different people too. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to give anything away too. So. Xmas Girl 304 Q&A. Angela Kang recently updated her profile info on Twitter. It used to say Daryl and Carol spinoff. Now it says TWD4. Do you think this could mean the scope of the spinoff has changed? I definitely think so. I don't know if her Twitter post really changed anything. I don't know if... I do think that changes it, because why wouldn't they just leave it as the Daryl and Carol spinoff? Maybe it's going to change and adapt things, because things are ever changing and adapting. When you're a writer, like I wrote out ideas on Christmas Eve, what I wanted to write for chapters 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, when I was, writing stuff and we were driving. And then I started writing, and a lot of stuff is there from what I, theorized, hypothesized, put together, but a lot of it's different. So things forever changing. I remember they said that Daryl Dixon was supposed to die early on in season 1. He was only supposed to be there for a couple episodes. And imagine if Daryl died in like the fourth episode or third or fourth episode of the first season, and we never had the Daryl Dixon that we had on the show. It would have killed the show. It would have definitely hurt the show, for sure. Omar says, hey, PT, there's a new post in Twitter about Daryl posted a few minutes ago. I'll have to check it out. I know that Daryl... Omar, are you talking about the Daryl picture on the Commonwealth board, or is there something else? Because I talked about Daryl Dixon from the first season being on the missing persons Commonwealth board, and to me it doesn't fit that someone's looking for him unless that's what the Daryl and Carol show is. You know, I mean, it could be. It's just tough to say what it is because we just don't know, and it's really nothing there besides a close-up of Daryl in the center of the board. Benito C. No, I do not watch Dexter. I've never seen Dexter. I was told by several people in here to watch it, and outside of YouTube to watch it. I just haven't watched. I know it's a good show, or enough people have said it's a good show. I just haven't seen it too. So, Angel says, PT is where I come for Walking Dead content. He's the best. Thank you, Angel, and everybody for being here. I truly appreciate it. All of our different viewers and the people that are liking this video. I try my best. I definitely like to watch or to post videos about it, and I really hope we get a trailer next week so we can break that down and talk about it. And, you know, it's kind of tough to come up with different content now for the final season, because how many videos can we talk about Rick and our theories and our speculation and our this? And we've already had so many different prediction videos of what we thought was going to happen, and at the Commonwealth, and, you know, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that Rosita is going to be a Commonwealth soldier, and what's going to happen with Father Gabriel, what's going to happen with the Reapers. Like, I think the Reapers' story is going to mainly end in 1109. I think Leah is going to live, and I think Daryl and Leah are going to talk it out, and everybody's going to go their separate ways. Enough of the Reapers are going to be taken out. Carver is going to be taken out. He's going to be carved up, but by Elijah and Negan. Negan's going to help Maggie and Elijah. They're going to work together. They're going to go back, try to start to rebuild Alexandria, and then the Commonwealth's going to show up. They're going to go to the Commonwealth. Daryl and Rosita are going to try out to be soldiers. Daryl's going to be like, nah, this ain't for me. Rosita's going to probably become a soldier. Carol's going to probably be Carol and blend in. They're probably not going to fit into the Commonwealth mold. What's going to happen with Mercer? I'm interested to see what happens with him and Princess. The big outlier is Lance Hornsby, the CRM, and Elizabeth Kublik. Pamela Milton. How are they going to connect the dots? Sorry, Elizabeth Kublik is on the World Beyond. Is it going to connect with that? I would love to see the CRM show up somehow, some way. Or you see, like, I would love to see the door is cracked open with Pamela Milton and Lance Hornsby having a meeting with somebody that we don't really see. We kind of just hear them. And then you see a Commonwealth soldier like walk past the door, or he closes the door. And you're like, okay, CRM's connected. We know they're connected. And a lot of people are saying that Gimple already said that how they not know about each other and blah, 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 blah. But they say a lot of things. So take it with a grain of salt. You know, what can we do there too? So, Scouse's Lots 16. Do you think they could be filming in over here in the UK as well for Rick? I mean, they could, but if The Walking Dead was filming anywhere, people would know about it. Like the Walking Dead universe. Like, I don't know how many movies or stuff films in the UK, and do they know about it? They could be. I don't know why Rick would film there. I mean, unless he was at a studio. Unless they filmed at a different studio there. They could. They easily could have filmed. There's no reason why it couldn't be. But I just don't. I personally don't think so. But we never know, right? Xmas Girl 304, are you happy that the show is different than the comics? I am. Because I know Gimple said that they wanted to have, early on, they wanted to have it be an exact replica of the comics. But then they couldn't for this reason, that reason. Things changed, that changed, this happened, changed, this, you know. And I do like the differences. You know, I do like how things were slightly different. And then the big differences, the new characters, I do like it. It makes things, keeps you on your toes a little bit. Mitch Cameron, do you think that maybe the Rick Grimes movie has been filmed already in Europe? I do not. But again, what do we know right now? I mean, it doesn't make sense. If it has been filmed, why hasn't there been a trailer yet or anything at all about it? You know, well, how can there have been no talking points about it yet? But I think they're going to film over here in the States. They're going to use Georgia for the tax breaks, and it's all about money, saving money, making money, rinse and repeat, and all that stuff too. Mike Allen, who here thinks they would actually be admitted to the Commonwealth? So that's kind of a good question. If you right now, yourself, do you think you would be admitted to the Commonwealth? What traits, skills, education, knowledge would you bring to the Commonwealth? Because the Commonwealth is all about, you know, what can you do for them? It's not, I guess it is what you know, but you got to know the right people and what can you do too. So you got to have the skills to pay the bills, man, and to stay alive in the zombie apocalypse, that's for sure. So it's kind of cool to see where we're going with it. So today is January 9th, 2022, as we do the live stream. In a month and 4 days, so February 13th. So let's check the thing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 weeks, like I thought. 5 weeks away from The Walking Dead returning on AMC Plus. I will be watching it on the 13th, and I will be continuing to make my videos and breakdowns when I watch the video. So if you don't watch it, or if you don't have AMC Plus, or if you don't want to have the spoilers, then I will always have a spoiler warning. I will try to keep the thumbnail generic and basic, not to spoil anything, especially if major stuff happens. But I will talk about stuff in the videos, and there will always be a spoiler warning about them, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I've learned many years ago that thumbnails and titles, that spoils a lot of stuff for people, and I apologize for any of that stuff in the past, but live and learn, right? So, but that's 5 weeks away, and it'll be here before you know it. That's for sure. Xmas Girl Q&A, do you think Tales will be mostly an animated series? I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be 6 episodes. I think it could be at best or at most 50-50. 3 animated, 3 live action, or parts live action into animation. But I think there will definitely be animation and voiceover work that's going to be put in there too. So I think that's definitely a thing that it'll be. It's easier to do animated stuff with voiceover sometimes, not always, but probably with COVID stuff, well, we may have a little bit more animated stuff. And I hope there's a lineup of the episodes, the content, the ideas, or whatever too. That's a summer show, so they're, some time away. But we'll see where it goes. I still haven't seen Omar coming back, but I know Omar talked about the Daryl Dixon thing. I don't know if that's what it was, talking about Daryl's season 1 picture on the Commonwealth board. I don't know why they did that, to get people talking, I guess. When in doubt, they want people to talk about stuff and to, hypothesize things too. Dragon says, where do you think the Rick films will be set? I feel France in universe. It explains the ship and prevents Rick from leaving CRM. In real life, cuts Lincoln's travel costs for filming. So if you put Andrew Lincoln on a private jet and fly him and his family over, that's the cost of living. That's done. He comes over to Georgia. It's got to be way cheaper, way easier way that to film in the state of Georgia at their own studio. AMC owns their own studio. So you can film that versus in France, permits. Like, it just doesn't make sense to film in France because Andrew Lincoln lives in Europe. Maybe for the story, it could be France. But again, that was way back when in a transmission from the CDC connected with the world beyond. I think it's going to be positive. To me, he's in Philadelphia. Like, he got picked up in Virginia. So where did that helicopter fly to? Me, I've been saying this for a long time now, Philadelphia. So it just doesn't make sense to me to be France. But again, I don't even think the writers know what they're doing with it just yet. But we'll see. The musical. Have they announced The Walking Dead will continue to be shown 1 week in advance on AMC Plus? I haven't seen like a formal announcement, but it is on their stuff, like their video of the trailer for The Walking Dead season 11 part B. I saw that. It said AMC 20th, stream a week earlier on the 13th. So yeah, they said it there. And I think that's going to make them a lot of money, and that's why people want to watch it. Like, what's your point? Like, if they don't, like, they've already done it. They let the cat out of the bag. They can't just put it back in. They're like, they used to have the episodes a week earlier. If they took that away, fans would be pissed. That's for sure. Carol, Q&A, what do you think? What do you think you may cover after completion of The Walking Dead? Good question, Carol. Well, of course, we'll talk about the Carol and Daryl show, Tales of the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, the Rick movies, all the Walking Dead stuff. But if there's no Walking Dead stuff, I don't know. I mean, we can always talk about the Fight for Us series in 100 Days. Eventually, if we get another spinoff, training, diet, exercise, nutrition, physical therapy, general Q&A, maybe more of like a life channel, life coach kind of channel, because I'm definitely getting more into dividend stocks and investments. I talked about this last channel or live stream where I was like, I'm really getting into dividend stocks and investing, and I'm really big into energy stocks and banks and everything, and I have been for a little bit now too. And so I don't think a lot of people know about that, and I'm a novice. I'm a beginner. I've been doing it less than a year. Last summer I got into crypto, sold all that for a loss, actually invested it in dividend stocks, and I've been doing very well with the dividend stocks and just managing money like that, and some stuff that I learned, and not trying to be like, buy this stock, buy that, buy this. I would give the real deal of why I liked it, what's worked for me, and you can make your own decisions from there too. So, but overall, guys, that's my time, an hour and 2 minutes actually, so I'm 2 minutes over. I'll be back next Sunday, the 16th. And we're getting closer and closer to the return of The Walking Dead, which will be on February 13th on AMC Plus and the 20th on AMC. Hopefully we get a trailer very, very soon. Definitely check out at AMC The Walking Dead on Twitter for that. You can see the thing about Daryl. Again, it's not much, but that's what I've seen there too. But I'll be back, guys, next week. Ultimately, guys, I'll be back next week. Let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories. Check out my Fight for Us book series on Amazon. In 100 Days is making great progress. I'm very excited about to share with you later this year. I'll be back next week. Stay